Today we're talking with Pat Clay, Manager of Field Development for the West for Valent U.S.A. Now, as the window for almond application closes up, walnut growers actually have an opportunity coming up here to make an application as well, right?
That's correct. That's where we started most of our work with ReTain in California, is on walnuts. And it's doing the same thing in slowing down ethylene production, but it's attacking a different problem in walnuts. So I like to use analogies. And you know how when you're really concentrated on something, maybe walking through your house and somebody jumps around the corner and says, boom, it triggers a response. You get the adrenaline going and that adrenaline peaks and then it starts to fall off. That's exactly what we're looking at walnuts. If you have too much pollen landing on those flowers at certain stages of development, it's going to trigger a response. It's going to start to generate ethylene, and that ethylene is going to cause that flower to abort. So the phenomenon is called Pistillate Flower Abortion, or PFA, and ReTain is a really good remedy for PFA.
So for producers out there that are more diversified, they may have some acreage of both almonds and walnuts. It can be a fairly quick turnaround to help maximize the potential of bloom with applications of ReTain.
Certainly. And, for the walnuts, they're going to begin blooming soon. There's a couple of things to think about. Is the variety that you're growing susceptible to PFA? So we tend to think about varieties such as Sirs as being highly susceptible to PFA. There's a couple of others like Tulare and Tehamas that are prone to PFA. So ReTain is a really good fit. But also thinking about where your orchards are located. If you're in a heavy walnut production area, there's a lot of pollen around. Other varieties can also benefit from a ReTain application in those situations. And then the other piece to consider is kind of how those trees bloom. Do you want to make a single application or do you want a split application? So our general recommendation is that you're going to want to make your first application of ReTain on walnuts. Somewhere between 5 and 30% bloom on those female flowers. In a lot of cases, there's a big benefit from splitting the application and going at that timing, and then 2 to 4 days later, when those blooms are approaching 60%, coming in with a second application of ReTain. And seeing folks get creative. First application by ground with an air blast sprayer, second application, hit it from the top via an aerial application. So the use pattern has been around for a number of years, and growers that have used it have been very satisfied with it and figured out very good ways to tweak the system to get the maximum results out of it.
Yeah, always helpful insight from Valent U.S.A.'s Pat Clay. And Pat, once again, thanks for taking the time with us here today.
All right. Thank you, Brian. I'm glad to do it.